Hello and welcome to The Hero's Spouse. I'm Kendra Ruth, here to answer one of your questions about marriage and midlife crisis. Today we have Mike. Mike has a bomb drop of July 9th, 2023, a date of marriage of 2004. His wife is a boomerang and a high-energy replayer. He says, my wife is a very high-energy replayer and she's in limerence with the alienator who she moved in with 2 weeks after bomb drop. I use Smart Contact. For those of you who don't know Smart Contact, that is a marriage helpers program, and you can look it up through Marriage Helpers or Dr. Joe Beam. I use Smart Contact when she messages me, normally every 2 to 3 weeks, about managerial stuff. No relationship talk at all, and I don't contact her at all and haven't since she moved out. Good. Our children are all young adults from 19 to 28, so she can contact them independently, and so can they. The two youngest still live with me, and she hasn't contacted our 23-year-old son since she left. And she doesn't seem to want to make the effort with our 19-year-old daughter. I was hoping she would. Our 19-year-old daughter is gay and had a 3-month relationship with the alienator whilst my wife was limerent for her. Am I maintaining the correct type of contact for the moment? And more importantly, how can I guide my son, who's 23, and daughter 19 through this as they are hurting? Is your 23-year-old the next up? Are those the two youngest then that are at home? Just as an aside. My daughter 19 is in counseling, good, and my son has exhibited some signs of abandonment trauma. I would like to truth start my wife about the kids, but I'm not sure how or if it's worth it. So, first thing, so your wife is limerent for another woman, is what it sounds like, because you said limerent for her and your daughter's gay. But if I'm wrong, you can correct that. You're doing all of the right things. You would like to truth start her, but not sure if it's worth it. So what is your payoff on truth start? Hold on, and just a moment, I am going to go to my truth starts article for my notes, and I will link that article as well. So first, what is a truth start? A truth start is, as the definition that I wrote on this article, a short statement that cuts through an MLCer's confusion and chaos, planting the seed of a question in their mind. It could be planting a seed of an aha in their mind too, but notice, I didn't say it cuts through the confusion and chaos and giving them a question. I said it plants the seed. So you can send a truth start and it might not seem worth it because nothing happens. Because it's a seed. Or because they blow up at you for it. The seed is still planted. And if the seed is planted and they blow up at you, you hit a nerve. So in some ways that can be a message that it worked. So you're not always going to get a positive response back immediately or within a quick turnaround. You could get a positive response 3 years later. Sometimes you get a positive response, but it goes in one ear, positive response, and out the other. I would get those. I would truth start Chuck and go, oh, you're so right. Sometimes you do it in Charming Monster. You got me, you're right. In one ear, out the other. A Charming Monster, he knows what he's doing. And I will link this article, like I said, but the next piece is key that I wrote down below. It says, typically you won't receive a mature response at the time of delivery. So recognize, what are you looking for it to be worth? Because if you're giving a truth start so you can have a change now, then no, it's not worth that, because that's not its purpose. It would be lovely, and it's kind of a bonus. And sometimes you do get the feedback that they received it, but the next day, the next week, the next hour, it seems like they didn't. So take that initial feedback of, yeah, you got me, even if it's from Charming Monster. That worked. It did something. It resonated. If they react, then it resonated. It meant something. So now, you wanted the truth start about the kids. Spend some time in truth start. First thing, it is a one-liner. Maybe two, but really, usually I have them as a one-liner. So some examples, and some of these examples I'm just taking from the article, so I don't have to go spend a lot of time thinking up a whole bunch of truth darts. But if anyone wants to have a truth dart file going, best place would be at the forum, because we can research those sort of things at the forum. That's awesome, because then you can go look up different truth darts for different topics, different contexts. So one truth dart that is more generic, not about the kids. Do you really like the person you see when you look in the mirror? It's a question, isn't it? And they might answer yes, but it's the seed. Another, honorable spouses don't leave by adultery. Parenting ones. I'm going to change the gender on this for Mike, because this was written, sometimes when I do my writing I alternate, but my wife was always a good mother to our children. Who are you? You could say, what are you? Who are you? What are you? What kind of example are you setting for the kids? Do you really think they'll come to you for help or advice when they're married? You, the woman who abandoned them? So that one was a little bit longer. I had 2 sentences in that. They cut through. Then there are truth darts that you can use in response to something that they said. So, a common one. I wish you'd stop treating me like a child, from your MLCer. I'm sorry, that hasn't been my intention. Okay, so there's an apology, then the truth dart piece. But consider that maybe you feel I'm treating you like a child because you're acting like a child. So you apologize for it, but then you highlight, but you're acting that way. You're turning the awareness back onto them. Now that doesn't mean they're not going to, they're still going to deny, I am not, in a childlike manner. Remember, it's a seed. So, I can't be happy without her, referring to the alienator. I need her. I would die without her. That is a limerent statement. The truth dart, that's not love, that's addiction. That's a truth dart that is said with almost clinically. The one where I said, I'm sorry, that hasn't been my intention. You lower your voice and you say it softly with a lot of empathy in it. Empathy can be in anything, but some things feel more clinical, more direct. So is a truth dart worth it? Yeah, a truth dart is worth it. You just don't pepper people with truth darts. You don't have an entire conversation that is truth darts. I mean, you can have a difficult conversation sometimes, and we can steer away from them when it needs to. But a truth dart is just a one-liner, and it's one one-liner. I don't want you to have a conversation, have 10 one-liners that are truth darts peppered throughout, or even 3. 2, I mean, it depends on how the conversation is going, how long it is. And it also depends on their receptivity in the moment. But remember, they might be receptive now and then toss it out later because it's gone out the other ear. Well, and the seed's still gone down, though. We're just planting seeds. So you need to determine whether that's worth it or not. You need to determine what the payoff is, what the payoff you're looking for is. Because, yeah, I think you should do it. Take your time, craft the right truth dart for the situation. And in 2 weeks, if there's another one you want to go, yeah, go for it. Or maybe you wait longer because she only contacts you every few weeks. If you can do the truth dart verbally, so it's by voice, she can hear your voice, that's best. Okay? I hope this is helpful. And I will see everybody in the next question.